subscribe and also smash that like button and hit the bell notification.
Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Brother Chris here right now. My colleague, though, she's actually in the States right now, right where she always lives, and that is.
Brown City, Michigan, right in the thumb of Michigan. Wait a minute, we'll do this right away. Right in the thumb of Michigan.
Yes, but you are. If you want to introduce yourself.
I am the Gypsy lady, Eva.
Yeah. So we do say welcome everybody. Just to let you know though that we will be starting a brand new subject. All right, this is going to go on for a little bit. There is a lot of footnotes actually on this, and it is affecting a lot of people. Some people have been talking about it within the past little bit, but what we're going to be talking about though is empaths. Empaths though is a large area. So Eva, before we went live, you were saying you were going to mention something. To do with
The
empaths.
fact that- empaths are the psychics who are not psychic. No. How did I say that? Oh. They're the psychics who are not psychic.
Yeah.
Or so they say.
Yeah.
I don't go with that. But it was explained to me that what it is empaths. This is how it was explained to me. They're psychics who are not psychic. They have that ability to pick up the energies of other people, but because they're so involved with helping, they miss that actual psychic connection. But it's there.
Yeah.
It's kind of underlying everything. And that's how it's explained to me. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. Because if you ever talk to someone who is empathic and you say, oh, you're psychic, they'll look at you like, I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
They get very adamant about it.
But again, though, it's sort of on the borderline and sort of off the borderline. It's really hard to say. But again, though, it's like what Eva was just saying. You're not a full psychic. You do have the abilities, but you're not full psychic, right?
Yes.
That's the best way how to say it. So, so a lot of us, so we have the empath feelings. We do have the empath knowledge, but go ahead.
It just passed my mind. And now I lost it again.
But all right. So
all empaths are psychic, but not all psychics are empaths.
So true. It's like
that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, empaths do have that ability, but it's like they don't want to admit that they have psychic abilities, because after all, that's on the dark side.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's funny though, because like talking about that though, so many religious people out there look at it the wrong way, right? And it's like, gosh, but we're not gonna touch that field. Well, we actually within the next couple weeks, we're talking about empaths. So today's topic though, are 10 different behaviors actually of authentic empaths. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick look. We're gonna sort of let you know what we kind of feel about these. Actually, 10 different topics about them, and see if you're part of them. Join in though. Do what was at the beginning. Smash that like button. A lot of you guys are subscribing, watching. We want you to smash that like button, and also so that you guys know right when we go live. And even press that subscribe. So again, though, underneath the first one, empaths can't help on taking people's energies. I think that's what it is. If I am wrong, you can step in. I got my glasses on right now, so.
Hang on, I just have to get closer here.
So again, though, empaths cannot help take on energies from others.
That is true.
So, yeah. So
it's like that. If an empath is sitting in a room and somebody walks in, immediately they know what's going on.
Yeah.
But it's more from a health. A lot of it's from a health, physically and mentally. If that makes any sense.
It does actually, yeah, because again, though, it's like a lot of empaths, they can't fully take on the emotions altogether. they can sense it, right? But they can't take it
Mhm.
on.
Right.
Right, and
Right.
that's the main thing. It's like those whenever you're tapped actually into people, it, even if they're like far away, right? You can sense them, but the thing though is you can't feel their emotions. Go right ahead.
I really kind of disagree with that a
I
little
love
bit
that. I love this. Go ahead.
because I think they can pick up emotions, especially if it's a sad emotion. On the how can I say it? On the not happy side, they can pick those up. Pick up the worry about something. Pick up a lot of different aspects of that. Um, that's why I kind of
I love
disagree.
that. I love it. I love it because I'm always waiting for you to say that. So
You picked that up, did you?
yes, yes. I even picked it up way before I even said it. That's why I wanted to say it. So
Ta-ta.
yeah. So it's funny though because again, those like Eva though she lives over in the States. We're actually here in Ontario. We're just outside of Toronto area, and you're north of Detroit,
Yes.
right? And that's the best way I had to describe the area. But yeah, it's funny though because Eva and I we are more tuned with each other, even if we're not on and not talking. We're more in tune with anybody else. So let's look at number two, Eva.
That is your intuition is always spot on.
Yeah.
And I agree. A lot of empaths know exactly what's going on with people, uh, even though they don't like to admit it. But I mean, they will look at you and say, "Oh, what's happening? Is there something really happening with with this or with that? You're not feeling well, are you?" That sort of thing. And not chances, but many, 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 more often than not, they know exactly what's going on with you.
Yeah, and
And it's almost scary.
that's a little bit more than what I was just describing before we went into topic two.
Hmm.
All right, even though that again, Eva's way over there and we're all the way over here, so Eva's over in group A, we're in group B. All right, we can communicate so far. All right, but we can't pick. We sort of can pick up each other's energy, but we can't pick up exactly what again those what information is always spot on about each other. We can feel though that something's actually off, but again those we can't spot on,
Well,
right?
the thing is, they're picking a lot of it up psychically. And I know there are people who say, well, it's just body language. You learn how to read body language. And I disagree. Yes, you do pick up body language, the which is a silent language, but it tells so much. But there are so many subtle things that has nothing to do with body language that an empath will pick up on. And uh, yes, intuition plays a big part of it also. Can I insert here? Uh, Everybody was saying with Kate, Princess Kate,
Yeah,
I bet you she had cancer. And I said, the surgery was not cancer. The surgery was something else altogether. I did not feel like she had cancer. So I guess I'm not an empath because I missed that one completely. But she did indeed have cancer, but it was discovered after the surgery.
yeah.
I still think she had a tummy tuck, but that's okay.
Well, that's what's come across some of the news up here is so that she might have had that also.
I'm sorry?
So some of the news up here is so that she might have actually had a tummy tuck also. That's what some of the news is going actually on about that also. But the thing though is the press will say one thing, but the press won't give out the full information. That's the whole thing. All right, so that way we're gonna go to number three. Being around people is tiring, and you feel drained quite often. And this is so true. It depends about the people's though that you're hanging around with. Exactly. Some people, what Eva said actually in past shows, some people really do have some negative energy with them. All right. And their energy is so dark. They don't realize it because they're not in tune. They're not actually an empath. They're not spiritual at all. They can drain the empaths and spiritual people altogether quite fast.
And I have to also say, you don't even have to be an empath to pick that up, because there are people whose negative energy is so all-encompassing.
Yeah.
And once you're within that sphere, it just takes everything out of you.
Yeah. And you feel so drained. It's sort of like the first time that I did the show here, which you guys can go back actually in archives underneath here, underneath Divine Oracle Reading. My very first show ever. I was dealing with somebody for reading live. I became so drained. I was right after the show. I had to do laundry. What did I do? I took the clothing and I put it. I was ready to put it actually into the toilet. Right, and that's quite comical, but I was drained. So yeah, again though, is being around people and everything else. So I have to more or less learn how to work with your chakras altogether, and know how to ground yourself. Go ahead.
Well, ground yourself, but you also have to know how to shield yourself.
Yeah.
It's like when I did psychic fairs, because you would be around people who were very negative, and you pick up on it quite often. I know this plays into that empathic aspect. I think we all have that somewhat, especially if you do open to the psychic abilities. And one of the things that I do is I say the Lord's Prayer as I see the light shielding me.
Yeah.
And I talk to the Archangel Michael for protection, because when you do those psychic fairs, there's so many negative people that come to that. They want answers. They want to have their misery taken care of, and it's like, it takes more than a psychic. You
bleep bleep bleep. So, yeah.
I said silly person.
That's the best way to say it. But yeah, no, it's so true though, because so many people don't realize, like what I was saying earlier, so many people out there do not realize that they have that negative energy attached to them. Right? So it's like, gosh, so. Number 4, Eva.
Well, you find yourself because you do have this great positive energy, you find yourself being surrounded by people who are broken. It's like you're a magnet. They just.
Yeah. Now, what type of broken are you talking about? Like broken legs, or are you talking about actually energy that's broken?
Energy that's broken. And although they may have a broken leg in the meantime because somebody tripped them, I don't know. Anyway, you find that strangers are attracted to you because they sense that you would listen to them and you would possibly provide some kind of relief. And it is nice to help someone, but sometimes you need to take care of yourself first, because after you've been around this enough times, you gather all this energy, you need to dispel it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to let these people go, because anything you do is not going to help them. They're not, they scream help, but it's crying wolf.
Best way how to put it. And it's so true though. There's so much, because there are so many people. Right, once you put your hand out, right, it's kind of like a story though. Is once you give them a cookie, right, and you say, okay, right, go on your way, they're back within the next 5 minutes. Right? Oh my gosh, this is wrong. This. Now, what I mean by this, it's different categories. right? And you try to actually help them, but you're giving more cookies and sending them always off, but they're always
I
bouncing
never
you
thought of it.
back. But
Yeah, that's
they're always bouncing you back, right?
yep, that's a
And
good way to do it. Say it.
the best way to do though is say, okay, right, let you know I've had too much. I've had too much. You need to more or less like. I love what Cheryl's actually put down. To do with the last one though, you need to ground yourself more, which is awesome, right? Another one that she's just put down though is, I used to say what I'm actually like. There's a couple other things that that used to say. I'm not gonna go in because it's more private for her, but yeah. Again, those always put example as she is a cookie. It's like a kid. Those if you give a cookie to a kid, the kid's back with 5 minutes with another problem. But you can't. It drains you
Well,
so much. Go ahead.
one of the things she said about grounding yourself more. Can you is this in the? Can you see that?
Yep, we can see it.
Okay, it is a hematite ring, and hematite is one of those crystals that is one of the best grounding crystals you can have. And I have been wearing this recently, and I've noticed of the two negative people that constantly bounce into my life, it has helped me to deal with it. I'm not empathic. Well, I am empathic a little bit, but I'm not an empath.
Yeah.
But it does help, and it does help me sleep better. It does help me do a lot of other things that I've been having trouble with lately. So that is a consideration. There are several other crystals that help for the grounding, but hematite is one of the best.
Yeah.
Just throw that in there.
Yeah, and it's good though. It's good though. Again, though, it's like what Eva, Gypsy Lady Eva said though is there's different stones actually out there like crystals. Find which one's best off for you, and that will help you. Whenever you're looking for the crystals, put it actually in your less dominant hand because that's closest to the heart, and it will speak to you directly.
And you
Yeah.
notice I'm wearing the ring on my middle finger. I would have held it up, but that's not nice. Anyway, it's the middle finger which leads right to the heart.
Yeah. Yeah. So that way we're going to look at number 5. We're going to take a quick commercial break after this. And number 5 though is you don't do well around crowds. There's so many people actually out there though that I know whenever they have to go in shopping, like into a mall or to a fair carnival, to a carnival or even to a fair, they can't be around there. They're only in for a couple seconds and then they got to be back out,
Yes.
right? They always say though it's because of the people's energy, which goes back to one of the last topics though that we were talking about. But the thing though is they're picking up more than what people's energy is. So I'll let Eva sort of step in.
Oh, I'm sitting here agreeing with
Is
you
that
because there are uh, so many people out there that are begging and crying for help,
yeah.
but they don't realize it. But their energies are saying, "Help me, help me," and you pick up on it very quickly, very easily, and it can be daunting. And I like what was said is that a protective stone will help you.
Yeah.
And like I said, the best one that I have found is hematite. And it's usually one of the first ones that's listed if you go into that sort of thing, or go to one of the sites that talk about what kind of crystals to use for what. Hematite is one of the first ones that they mention. And I, for one, cannot remember the rest of them.
So
At one time, I used to know them all.
there's black tourmaline,
Yeah.
right? There is amethyst.
I debate that one.
So
I think it's good to wear because it keeps the positive energies within you from being attacked.
yeah, yeah. See, one thing though, for a lot of people though that know me actually and see me in public, you're always seeing this little pouch with me. So what I have though is actually in here. I've got black tourmaline actually in here. I've got 3 rose quartz, which is actually my birthstone. I also have actually in here, which is actually pudding stone, that you can find actually in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and also Ontario. So those are ones I carry around. So we basically those, like what Eva was saying, those it's going to help block out. Years ago, I could not be actually in crowds at all. Right, I had to walk. Like if I went to our local mall, I went from point A to point B so fast. And what has helped me though is actually carrying around the crystals, working on myself at first, so way I cannot be, and then from there, I've actually been able to be around large crowds now. All right, but I also put up that wall. That's one thing I'll also do though, is put up that wall so that way, if there's anybody's energy coming towards me, it bounces off. So, but we'll be right back after this quick commercial, and we'll continue on with today's topic.
This arts and craft market at the Stratford Park Museum. 57 vendors showcasing handmade creations for the community to enjoy and purchase. Organizers say the goal of the market is to bring cultures together in peace and celebration while also exchanging knowledge.
Alrighty, so yeah, we're back again though, and that was just a quick commercial break. Again, we're looking at number 6. We're going to give that one to Eva. Number 6, Eva.
Hang on.
So
You can't simply live anywhere. That's a difficult one because sometimes you can walk into a place and it's like, no, you just know that this, no matter what, you're never going to be happy there.
yeah,
And then you'll also walk into a place goes like, home. And you can't judge it by being close to the nearest Starbucks. That doesn't work.
Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts,
Trust me,
or even
that doesn't work.
even there in the States, Dunkin' Donuts, or Canada, Tim Hortons.
Aha, yes. And one of the things that I find interesting, because having been with a paranormal group that helped explore these things, is that if there was a house that a violent crime had been committed, and it's like no matter when it took place, it is going to, on an empath, really affect them. And if you're psychic, it's really going to affect you because it comes in from all different aspects, and an empath will pick it up like that. And no, you don't want to do that. It's out of the question. Don't do it. And because you'll never, ever, ever be comfortable in that house.
Yeah.
And
it's something I said actually in these Paranormal Survivors season 1, episode 6, which we were actually on, with the hustle that we had in Cambridge, Ontario, Canada. Right when we went and saw the house, it felt like home to us. It felt like though that we were being called there. We didn't know why at the time until experiences have happened. But again though, there's some locations I've gone into, sort of like what Eva has said, and I personally don't feel comfortable at all. It's just by walking through the doors. Right? You gotta be out of there within the first 5 minutes. People say first 5 seconds, but it can't be first 5 seconds. It's within the first 5 minutes. But you feel out the energy and everything else, and it's like no, because it could be because of people that have lived there in the past, that their energy is still there.
well, like the thing here says a violent crime, but there's other things that take place. Abuse would be another
Yeah.
thing if it was terrible abuse. We went to a mental institution here in the States. It was in the Pontiac area. It is no longer a mental institution. I think they finally tore it down. But the energies in that building were so negative, not because of the mental illness, but because of the abuse that went along with it. I mean, this was at a time when, or that was active at a time when mental illness was not fully understood. And some of these people were put in straitjackets that really shouldn't have been. Some of them were, just awful, awful things. And man, you said the first 5, no, it takes 5. No, that place, it was washing over me even from the outside.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to really be a crime. It can just be the way they were torturing these people.
Well, the thing though is, Eva, don't forget though, that we're more spiritual, right? But again, we're dealing with empaths.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
For us spiritual people, we're more in tune than actually empaths.
Yes.
Right. So that's what could have actually happened. Like what you were saying, those outside, and that's one thing. Those with myself outside, yeah. But
So,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But the thing though is, a lot of people though look at us, right, and they're like, oh my gosh, you guys are more empaths. But no, we are more spiritual. 100%, right? We do have the sensibility altogether. So
Yes. But the point that I was getting at, there was one of our group was an empath, and even from the outside, it was like, no, I can't go in there. I just can't. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Cheryl just typed in. Cheryl's a strong supporter of us here, actually, at Define.
Thank you.
Define. So she just typed in, though, is some with energy of jails.
Oh God, yes.
Yes.
That's another place.
Yeah. It could be an active jail. It could be an old jail. Right.
I can only imagine. I've never been to a jail to do
paranormal. I slept at a jail, and also I've been in jail in the past.
I've never been in jail. I've been past them.
Well, sorry, but there is a location actually in Cobourg, Ontario. It is a former jail, but they changed it actually into a hotel. I don't know what they're doing nowadays with it, so that's what I'm saying though. It's like, hey, I've been in jail. I slept in a jail.
I've been by them.
Yeah.
In fact, there is a big jail not that far from here in the Lapeer County area, which is to the south of us, southwest. Anyway, it's over that way, and I know when we go by it on 69, one of the big roads, freeways, and you can feel something. You know that you're in something, but I think that's more because of the mental. Some of these criminals, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah. All right, so just before we continue on show with 6, we're going to jump forward. We're going to go to number 7. I'm going to give that one to Eva.
You are hypersensitive, and you can't help it.
Yes. And it's true, though, because more or less, though, you could be watching TV, and you're more involved with the TV than anything else around. And somebody does something wrong, and you pick up the character, or even if it is in real life, you pick up their stuff right away, and you're like, what's going on?
So it says, you can't turn a blind eye if you see an animal in pain. And it says you can't watch TV because I don't know if you see them in Canada, but there's an awful lot of these commercials, especially on the non-network channels, and they're help these poor animals that are starving and that are abused. And I can't watch those commercials. They just, I can't watch them.
Yep. Well, let you know, here over across the river, here in Ontario, we get more American commercials than Canadian commercials.
Ah.
Right. And the other one though that's comical though is somebody I know. I'm not going to mention the person's name, but right whenever they see the one commercial to do with it's workout equipment. Right. Last time I talked to them, though, that they said though that every single commercial was about the same commercial. Right. So it was bothering them big time. Right. And it was like, gosh, so yeah. So Cheryl just typed in. She said she can't watch those either.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's like
but the thing is, and I can remember as a child, if I were to see where there was something bad happening to the character of a TV show,
yeah.
I couldn't watch it. I would not. I would go into the other room. I couldn't handle it.
Same here. Right.
So I don't know if that means I'm an empathic psychic or a psychic.
No. You're not psycho. You don't live in Bates Motel.
But anyway, like I said, I don't know if I'm an empathic psychic or a psychic empath.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's like guys, but yeah, no, and it's so true though, because some things actually out there affect people quite often.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's more things than usual. And I think it's more or less to do with the world these days. I know 50 years ago, there wasn't much actually out there for information. There wasn't much actually out there for the news compared to what it is nowadays.
Well, that's like we were just talking this morning. The whole thing with Kate finally letting out what was going on. Yes, I know that they want their privacy, as they would say on the news from the BBC.
Yeah.
But I understand that, and I can respect that. But they are royalty. They are in the news. Let's be a little more transparent. The least she could have said, or she could have at least said, it's a cancer thing. Please leave us alone. I haven't dealt with this yet with the kids.
Yeah.
I think there would have been a much better response than to not say anything. But that's because the way the news is. Our news is constantly bombarding with the things. But what's even worse is, like you say, the world of 50 years ago, hell's bells, the years of 30 years ago was not anything. I mean, we're just a plethora of news constantly because of social networks, because of the internet, because more on TV, and it affects us.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a psychic to be affected by some of these things. Come on. Sorry. Okay,
No.
I'm off the soapbox.
It's true. It's true though. It's true. I love the way though that you were going with that, because it is so true, 100%. And that's what I was saying though. Like 50 years ago, it was not like how things are nowadays. Right. So
No.
yeah.
I would say 20 years ago, it wasn't even like this.
Yeah.
Maybe even 10 years ago. I don't know.
It's like, gosh, so yeah. All right, next one though that we're gonna look at though, here's number 8. Lies never work on you. So is that basically saying though that you can never tell a lie, or is that somebody saying a lie to you directly?
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. So you handsome gentleman, you.
Where's the gentleman? I don't see a gentleman. It's like it's a.
Oh. Okay.
But yeah. Again, we're taking a look at lies never work on you. So Eva's actually taking a quick little look actually at the footnotes altogether.
Well, I'm thinking what they're actually talking about is that because you can pick up on true emotions, that someone who is lying, you know.
Yeah.
And again, you can kind of say, well, maybe it's a little bit of body language. And I'm like, but I think it's because the energies are saying, lie, lie.
Yeah, yeah, and it's good though because this one here, most people will look actually. Let's start like what I said though. Is it me lying, or is there others lying actually onto you? Right.
Yes.
All right. But I love the way though that you said though it's the body language, 100%. Because so many people, whenever they give body language, their body language, honest to God truth, will tell the truth more than others. It's sort of like taking the polygraph. So many people think the polygraph can actually be not true, but it's your body language, right when you're hooked up to that polygraph. It's not only reading your senses with inside; it's actually reading your body language on the outside.
I'm sorry, I was not laughing at you.
You don't gotta laugh at me always.
No, I don't like to laugh at you. With you, maybe, but not
Yeah,
at you.
but go
No,
on.
what I was thinking is, it says lies never work on you. You can't be lied to, and I don't think you can tell a lie. I think it's a two-way street. But I'm sitting here thinking with with the politicians that are headlining things now, especially the one, it's like, how can people not see the fact that he is lying through his teeth?
Yeah.
If they're really his teeth. Sarcasm. I apologize. But it's like, can't people see this? I mean, it's like, sorry. I do not mean to get politics in here because
no. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. So, Cheryl's actually typed in about this one though, and this one's gonna make you laugh.
Okay.
Cheryl types in, my husband says I should become a cop. Because of actually she can pick up about the lies.
Hey, that would be good.
So yeah.
No, maybe she needs to be a psychologist.
Cheryl, have you ever thought about going back to school just part time and actually picking up the course? So that's like awesome. But yeah, so all right, so that way we're gonna look actually at number 9, and this one here is you have the gift of emotionally healing others. Right?
You walk up to them and you put your hand on their third eye and said, "You have been healed."
Yes,
terrible.
people is if this is your first time to watch us, we do say this is how we are. Even we're comical people. But
listen, if you can't laugh, you're too damn serious, and I don't want anything to do with you.
But yeah, no, actually, basically emotionally healing others. So it's people coming up to you, talking to you, and you giving advice, right? But the advice though that they look at though is more or less healing.
Yes.
Right. And with this, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, and I think empaths seem to attract people who need to be healed. If you'll notice, a true empath will have people around them all the time.
Yeah.
Contrary to the crowd thing. But these are people who are asking to be healed.
Yeah.
Just my thought.
That's like gosh, so. But yeah, and it's so true though. So that is for that one. I'm trying to get that one. It was like a tongue twister. So. Yeah.
Are you trying to speak Klingon again?
Yes, I am. So, and then number 10, I'm going to pass this one back over to Eva.
You have a problem with downplaying your own problems, and I think that's a biggie, really, because you can take care of all these other problems of all these other people, and you're falling apart physically or mentally or whatever. You're falling apart because you simply don't take the time to take care of yourself. And if you don't do that, you'll end up this little pile of ash because you're all burnt out. Give yourself some importance because you're the only one who can do that.
Yeah. And I love the saying, though, that somebody said to me quite a while ago, right? It's basically work on yourself before you work on others. Right. And it's
I think...
Go ahead.
And I think one of the big problems with empaths, as I see it, is the fact that they do burn out quickly, and they reach a point where they can't help people because they are so burnt out emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, because they are so willing to help other people. And that's not what it's all about.
Yeah. It's like our
My thought.
Yeah. So I like what Cheryl just put down, and she says so true. So yeah. So again, though, is if you are an empath, if you're very sensitive, these are great ones for you. So next week, though, we've got another great topic coming up, and that one there is basically to do with the balance, sort of like the balance, actually, to do with empaths. But this is a different area. Sort of deal with the balance, but sort of not. Again, those we're going to be dealing with empaths for the next couple of weeks, and now some people have actually been talking lately about empaths. They've been posting it actually on their Facebook page, which is a great way actually to get more awareness actually out. People have been talking in groups about empaths, and this is one thing I personally find, though, that it's affecting a lot more people nowadays.
You know, I said earlier that empaths are psychics who aren't, are not, boy, I can't talk. Empaths are the psychics who aren't psychic. Yeah, right. But I think that empaths need to at least acknowledge some of their psychic abilities, because I think it's a big part of it.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, one of the reasons why they have so much trouble is because they are not acknowledging it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, yeah, you have to be have a little bit of psychic abilities to be able to be an empath. You're open to that. Open the whole being.
Yeah.
Not just an empath, because I think there are psychics out there who do empathic work.
Yeah. So again, those next week's topic, though, we're going to be looking at those. Why do empaths have such a strong sense of not belonging?
That's because they're kind of crazy.
So, but yeah. So again, though, that's next week's topic. We have a lot more in store for you guys. Share with your friends. Click that bell so that you're not so that way you're notified exactly right when our next shows are, right when we go live, and also let your friends know about us. Subscribe.
And please feel free to join us, have them join us, and type in some questions or some observations. We enjoy that.
Yep.
We might not agree with you, but we enjoy
Try
it.
Yes. Yep.
I mean, you're wrong, but that's okay. No.
See, like I said, this is our sense of humor. So,
well, it's one of the things that I was taught when I first began taking lessons with this gentleman who was very, very psychic and was well into the field. His name was Saul Lewis, and he interviewed you. And if you couldn't laugh, you didn't get into his class. If you didn't have that sense of whimsical sense, if you want it, he didn't take you in. And I think that's one of the strongest things that the two of us have, is the fact that we do have a sense of humor.
Yep.
And that's part of being psychic also. Because if you can't laugh with the universe is certainly going to laugh with you.
Yeah. So from us to you, we do say thanks a lot for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you guys next week. Talk to you guys
Have a great
later.
week. Have a great week, and thank you for your time.
Be sure to book your readings with Gypsy Lady Eva.
Oh,
Book your readings with and Brother Chris.
Another great podcast to listen to is HauntingLIVE Podcast with your host Trevor, interviewing tons of people throughout the world. Listen to any of your podcast providers.
Check out our new website at HauntingLivePodcast.